actually think you know what it is, but you don't know for sure. In fact, you went to college and got a degree in that thing, and now it's just on your wall, because all you have is a premise. The move to fully understand your purpose is to dig in, get on your face, and ask God, what's the punchline? Because if you could start with the end in mind, similar to how our Father does, if you could start with the punchline and then build the setup, the results are so much more powerful. So the move is to get on your face and be like, God, what is this you want me to do? Maybe you're supposed to be the funniest janitor in your city, the hilarious doctor in the county. But because you're funny, you're thinking, ooh, I'm supposed to just do stand-up comedy and make people laugh. And then at some point, I'm going to say, all glory to God. Really? You're just going to use them as a punchline at the end? Or under some circumstances, and some people in this room have done this, and I'm cool with cutting into people, as you'll find out shortly. Or you're just going to use them as a crutch because the comedy didn't work. You run into your testimony so people don't look at you weird. So that now they can say some stuff. And let me say this. You must work hard, probably harder than writing, to be humble. Most of the people in this room, you're dealing with some serious insecurities. Why else would you get on stage and say to everyone, look at me, look at me, look at me? So if you're already dealing with some insecurities, if you're already looking for acceptance, and now you get on stage and you have all these people accepting you, the enemy will pull you up escalators to make you think you're great. Your job is to run down the escalator as fast as you can. It is extremely hard for me to even be here because not only can I present some comedy and make the room laugh, but you guys are under the impression that I'm greater than I am. And I'm really not. So to be here is actually a draw on everything I do because some of you guys will help speed up the escalator for me. And you're not trying to. You just see some stuff that I've done and you want to do those things, but you're cranking the escalator up, which means I got to run down even faster. Which is cool, which is fine. It's part of what God's called me to do. I don't even like getting recognized in public. I used to not like getting recognized in public. But now I clearly understand what my purpose is and why I'm funny. So I'm all about everybody knowing my name. I know that sounds weird. I want everybody to know my name. God has given me a specific plan that is pretty dope. And now that I see it, I am fine with talking about it. I'm fine with being on the next TV show. I'm fine with these shows and all this. Now I get it. Before, I was just running after. Before, I was ducking because I didn't understand. I felt like it was just me wanting to be seen. I felt like it was almost like a false. I'm like, oh, I don't want that. I don't want this. No, that shouldn't happen. But now that I get it, it needs to happen for me to accomplish what God has called me to do. So I'm fine with the world knowing who Michael Jr. is because I have something to say to them now. So the world needs to know. I got to leave with the funny. There's another note I need to go to. I could throw a joke in between this is getting too deep with y'all. I actually have a joke I wrote. What is it? Oh, next time I get pulled over by the police, I'm going to tell them I identify as a white man. Okay, so another point that I want to share with you guys is you guys are funny. Every time you see a public speaker, what do they try to do? They try to start with some comedy so they can give you a whole bunch of information. You gotta loosen it. You gotta loosen them up first. Loosen up the crowd, get them to like you, tell a joke. So they tell one joke, and then maybe somewhere in the middle of their hour and a half talk, they tell another joke, and then way at the end, they just walk off the stage. So there might be two jokes with all this information in between. Well, we got a whole bunch of jokes, but what information are you putting in between? Or are you just waiting to put the information at the end where you feel like it needs to go? Now listen, I was all about the last per minute. Like I hired a guy, this tech dude came up, like we could figure it out automatically, just based on, like it was. Then one day I was doing a show in Phoenix, Arizona, and I was backstage and I was talking to this pastor about this photograph that I'm about to show you. We're back there talking about it, and then I'm sharing it with him, I'm sharing the story with him, and this is the picture right here. Check this picture out. So some of you guys have seen this picture before. that's a hard picture. So we're back there, we're talking about the picture or whatever, and then you can take a picture now, because it's not that funny right now. So we're talking about this picture or whatever, and I go on stage, there's like 3,500 people there. I'm probably 25, 30 minutes into my set, and I hear God say to me, and I mentioned it in a room, let me take a little side step. I mentioned it in a room the other day, how to hear from God while you're on stage. I want everyone to hear this. A lot of times when you're on stage doing stand-up comedy, once you're good at it, once you've been doing it for a while, the joke you're saying, you're not even thinking about. You're on, depending on how long you've been doing, you're on the next joke, or the next joke, or you're looking at this lady and how she responded to this man. You're probably 5 jokes down from the joke that you're currently saying. And most comedians who are only looking for acceptance are thinking about what's the next joke so I can get more laughs. Or what's the next joke so I can get more laughs. What I'm telling you, what you should be doing in that moment is asking God, what do you want me to do with this audience? Because you already know what the next joke could be. But in between those gaps, if you change the definition of segue to listening for God, you have a private segue in between the jokes you're thinking about. You're saying, okay, God, what do you want me to say to this audience? Because you have the room. Keynote speakers has proven that to us. People will actually sit there and listen to what you have to say. And it's okay. So I'm doing the show, I'm on stage, I'm 25, 30 minutes into the show, and we're laughing. On a scale of 1 to 10, the audience is probably laughing at an 8. Like, it's a good show. We're having fun, it's a bunch of, like, we're just having a good time. And then I hear God say, show them the picture. Show them one picture. Get behind me, say, what you talking about? Show them one picture. I don't know what to, I feel like it's God, but I'm like, show them one picture. What? Like, I'm thinking, what picture are you talking about? So I move on to the next joke. And I'm 5 jokes ahead, and I hear God in the gap say, show them the picture. And I've never done anything like this before. This was a revelation moment. I'm like, show them the picture. So, okay. Hey, audience, listen, I got this picture I want to show you. So I'll show them the picture, put it up, boom. We go from laughing at an 8 to nothing, complete silence. And I explained the story to him. I said, this is a little girl, and about 100 meters away, outside the picture, is a food bank. And she's actually trying to get to a food bank. And then there's a vulture waiting for her to die so we can eat her. This is what I'm explaining to my audience in the middle of my comedy show. The vulture is waiting on the little girl to die so we can eat her. And the photographer who took the picture is under the tree. And then he takes this picture and he comes back to America and he wins the Pulitzer Prize. The greatest photographer prize you can win. Like, he wins it. And then 6 months later, he commits suicide. So I'm explaining this to my audience, and I don't know where I'm going with this, but I'm just trying to hear God in the midst of this. So I explained to him, and then the photographer comes back to America, and the question he's getting is what happened to the little girl. And he doesn't know. His answer is, I don't know. I went under a tree, and I smoked a cigarette, and I got on a plane and left. In fact, he was waiting on the vulture to open up his wings because he thought that would be a better shot. Wow. So he comes back to the stage and commits suicide and dies. And I explained to my audience, like I'm explaining to you, had he been of the mindset to save the little girl, he himself would be alive right now. Most likely he wouldn't commit suicide. So now the audience is listening and they're moved, kind of like your move, and I'm standing there, and I'm like, okay, now what? We'll take a picture now. And CCA, I cannot tell you what I said from that point forth exactly, or what the segue was, but we went from laughing at a level 8 to probably a 12. Not because the crowd was insensitive, but because I took time to listen in the gaps and give them more. Yeah, comedy opens up hearts. What are you going to put in there? Because you're making a deposit, or maybe you're just making a withdrawal so you can feel accepted. But as Christians, you're supposed to be making a deposit. It's about what can I give as opposed to what can I give. So after the show, I got all these people, and they're not just saying you're funny, they're like looking at me and they're saying this right here, they're saying, I want to be a part of your cause. And then they started an email list. I didn't have an email list at the time. They started putting their emails down. I'm like, look, how can I be part of your cause? I'm like, I write my own jokes. I don't know what you want to do here. Like, I don't know what they're talking about. But they're hungry for more. And I don't know what I don't have an answer. And God showed me that there's room. There's room between the pillars. There's a lot of room. What are you going to put into that room? Or are you just going to fill it up with a bunch of stuff? All right, let me do the next thing. These are random. Okay, this is actually pretty dope. This might be kind of funny. So a lot of people, and I think this might have been touched on at the devotional, I don't know, it was seen.